Kelvin, just one point. One thing I'm reading now is the sermons of Meister Eckhart, who was a friar of the 14th century. And in his sermons, he's almost saying word for word what you're saying right there, of unloading yourself of the I.
Yes. Yeah. And brother, it's daily. There's a song called, it goes like this. When one is released from the prison of self, that is indeed freedom, for the self is the greatest prison. Whoa, 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 yeah, yeah. If you think about the prison of self, think about being really self-conscious. Remember, too fat, too skinny. We miss out on the moment. Am I saying this right? Am I saying this wrong? Missing out on the moment. In AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, they have a phrase, they say, it's kind of graphic, I apologize. We got one foot in yesterday, holding on to what happened, all the grudges, and beating ourselves up, and not learning from the past, turning pain into power, failure into fuel. We got a foot in yesterday. We got another foot in tomorrow, living in the illusion of control. What if? A foot in yesterday and a foot in tomorrow, you kind of crap all over today. How will I teach you? Just take thyself into account every day. There is a reckoning. What am I doing now, today? Let's get out of that worry. So I'm with you. You know what? It's fascinating. I think the more we lose self, the more we discover our souls in the universe. The more we lose the shackle of self, the more we'll discover that we're just one soul in many bodies, We're drops in the ocean. Others, why are you here tonight? Yes.
So you're sitting on a plane, you got someone sitting next to you, you've never met them before.
Right.
So you're sitting on a plane, flying to your next stop.
Right.
There's someone sitting next to you you've never met before.
Right.
How do you personally clear those clouds and connect with that soul sitting next to you?
Well, this is a real good question. One of the things I got to get out of is doing what I was thinking about coming up here tonight, saying what I want them to know. What I think I'm going to, I got to get out of my subconscious sense of superiority or inferiority, that I'm going to fill up their cup or they're going to fill up my cup. Instead of, okay, how we're going to find water together. One of the most elitist phrases is that, what is that phrase? Give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. Teach him how to fish, he'll eat forever. That's so elitist. Because the real question is, wow, how has he been eating so long without me? Why do I have the knowledge and he doesn't? Man, do you like fish, bro? Maybe we can find some food that we can grow instead of that has some eyes and a mommy, So, yeah. And so with that, one of the things for me is I'm looking at them. I'm looking at what they're wearing, what they're carrying. They got a book or an iPod or an iPad. Their age, their color, all these things. And I'm allowing myself to...
looking package.
Yeah. What does it smell like? I smell curry coming through their pores. Or vodka. And all of these things that we try to deny I can't stand when people say to me, by the way, oh, hey, I'm colorblind. I don't see your color. I just see you as another human being. I'm like, bull. Because if I came up in your car with a 9mm, it'd be like, hey, break yourself. Give me your car. Say it was the black guy with the worm-like hair right over there, right? So we know this color in. So these children in here, they're not colorblind. They're color kind. They notice the difference in color, but they don't have a problem with it if somebody teaches them otherwise. So I'm going to acknowledge all that stuff I'm seeing, hearing, smelling. And then I'm going to maybe try to make a connection. If they're giving me off an energy that, hey, I don't want to talk. I'm not going to talk. But if I'm getting this, maybe they're a little nervous, or they maybe want to talk, so I'm like, hey, I'm Calvin. And then, are you going home? Or are you going to work or vacation? Then sometimes I ask people this, and it's just a little experiment I'm doing. I'll say, who are you? And nobody says, well, I'm a loving father for likes to garden and take long walks.
On the beach? On the beach?
People usually say it's their job.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a consultant. I'm an accountant. I lost my job. I'm a homemaker. That's why when some people lose their jobs, they lose their minds. Because in this society, what the forces are programming us with is that your identity first is your job, not a soul. Baha'u'llah totally gives us an opportunity to free ourselves from these mental shackles, from these social shackles. They're so insidious. It's like this. These shackles are so insidious. Somebody said once that if a fish could vocalize, if a fish could talk, and you would ask a fish, what is the color of water? The fish would say to you, what is water?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's that thick around us, you know? So, who are you? And then they'll say stuff, and I say who I am, and then we may never see each other again. So, I can go places that I may be sometimes a little afraid to go with my neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm going to see my neighbor a lot. If anybody in here who's like coming to know the Baha'i community and whatnot, we're really working on this thing called connecting with our neighbors, our home, our family members and co-workers, and talking about having devotions and children's classes and doing all this spiritual village building. It doesn't matter who people are, but there's a lot of Baha'is that are really kind of acting cowardly. They're afraid to do that, you're going to think I'm some freak, some weirdo. We talk about spiritual things. We could gossip about people all day. We could get that intimacy fix, right? We could talk about politics. We could talk about bread and circuses, the descendants of slaves, fighting it out in those Coliseum rings called Super Bowl and World Series and World Cup and NASCAR. Same as the Roman Empire, bread and circuses is just greased up and cleaned up a little bit better. We're not doing this and this. We can talk about that all day. But we start talking about the heart, and the mind, and this world we didn't inherit. It's on loan to us from the next generation. This planet is on loan to us from the next generation. What are we going to give them? That one's challenging. Other people, why are you here tonight?